The Galactic Council chamber hummed with nervous energy. Ambassador Veldar of the Kryn Collective stood before the assembled delegates, his 4 eyes reflecting the holographic display of burning worlds. The Zarkoth Dominion has destroyed 12 colonies in 3 cycles, Veldar's translator rendered his chittering speech into standard galactic. Our combined fleets cannot stop them. Their shield technology is impenetrable. Their weapons cut through our hulls like they're made of vapor. The delegates murmured in their various languages, clicks, whistles, harmonic vibrations. Fear permeated every frequency. We need reinforcements, declared Commander Ninola, her blue crystalline form dimming with exhaustion. But there are no more fleets. No more allies. We've called everyone. That's when Junior Ambassador Marcus Sullivan cleared his throat. The chamber fell silent. Not because humans commanded respect, but because most species forgot Earth's delegation even existed. Humans had only joined the Galactic Council 5 years ago, and their contribution had been minimal. 1 old frigate. Some trade agreements. Nothing significant. There is one option, Marcus said, standing up. His young face, barely 30 standard years, looked almost childlike compared to species who lived for centuries. Veldar's translator carried a hint of condescension. Young human, we've exhausted all military options. Unless your people have been hiding a fleet. We have. The chamber erupted in confused chatter. Marcus led a skeptical group of senior delegates to Earth's archives section, a dusty corner of the station that hadn't been visited in years. He pulled up holographic files that made several delegates recoil. You told us Earth was a peaceful world, Ninola said, her form flickering red with alarm. You said humans had moved beyond warfare. We did, Marcus replied calmly. 300 years ago, we achieved global peace. But we didn't forget how to fight. We just archived it. The holos showed massive vessels. Hundreds of them. Battleships bristling with weapons that made the Council's destroyers look like shuttlecraft. Carriers launching thousands of fighters. Cruisers with railguns that stretched half their length. This is a deception, Veldar hissed. Your species doesn't have industrial capacity for this. We don't need to build them, Marcus said quietly. They already exist. In orbit of Luna. In the Lagrange points. In deep storage around Jupiter's moons. We mothballed them, but we maintained them. Just in case the galaxy wasn't as peaceful as we hoped. He pulled up another file. Personnel records. Millions of them. Every human in our military trains for scenarios that haven't happened in centuries. We study wars that ended before we joined the Council. We run simulations of conflicts we pray we'll never see. Marcus looked each delegate in their various eyes. We call it being prepared. The rest of the galaxy called Earth a fairy tale. A myth of a species that conquered itself. But fairy tales often have teeth. Admiral Jessica Hale hadn't worn her uniform in 8 years. She'd been teaching military history at the Orbital Academy, lecturing about battles that students assumed were ancient history. Now she stood on the bridge of the UES Indomitable, a Manhattan-class battleship that had been in mothballs since the unification. Around her, the bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency, men and women who trained their entire lives for a war they thought would never come. Fleet status, she commanded. All vessels responding, Admiral, reported Lieutenant Commander David Park from Tactical. First Fleet, 30 battleships, 60 cruisers, 120 destroyers. Second and third fleets are 2 hours behind us. Fourth Fleet is bringing up the reserve. Fighter wings. 12 carrier groups. 7,000 fighters total, ma'am. Pilots are enthusiastic. Hale allowed herself a grim smile. I bet they are. How long since any of them saw real combat? None of them have, ma'am. Neither have we. Then we'll learn together. She turned to the communications officer. Lieutenant Williams, open a channel to the galactic fleet. The Zaroth Dominion had surrounded the Kryn home world. Their black ships formed a perfect sphere, shields interlocked, creating an impenetrable barrier. Every attempt to break through had resulted in catastrophic losses. Veldar watched from his command ship as another galactic assault wave disintegrated against the Zaroth shields. His people had hours left. Maybe less. Ambassador, we're detecting massive energy signatures, his sensor operator announced. Something's jumping in system. Space tore open. Not with the gentle shimmer of standard FTL transitions. This was violent, reality ripping apart as massive vessels forced their way through. The first battleship emerged, its gray hull marked with a blue planet and white stars. Then another. And another. Within 30 seconds, 300 human warships had materialized in perfect formation. Who are they? The sensor operator whispered. Veldar felt all four of his eyes widen. The fairy tale. Admiral Hale studied the Zaroth formation. Her tactical officer had been right, their shields were impressive. Overlapping fields of energy that had stopped every weapon the Galactic Council possessed. Analysis, Park. Their shield technology is definitely advanced, Admiral. But it's designed to stop energy weapons, plasma, particle beams, directed energy. That's what everyone in this galaxy uses. And we don't. No, ma'am. We use kinetic weapons. Mass drivers. Railguns. Good old-fashioned missiles with warheads. Park grinned. Turns out when you spend 300 years studying ancient wars, you remember that Newton's laws don't care about shields. Attention Zaroth Dominion, Hale broadcast on all frequencies. This is Admiral Jessica Hale of the United Earth Space Force. You are in violation of Galactic Council law. Stand down immediately or we will open fire. The response was predictable, contemptuous silence followed by weapons lock. Their mistake, Hale said. All ships, weapons free. Show them why Earth didn't forget. The human fleet opened fire. Thousands of tungsten slugs, each weighing several tons, accelerated to a fraction of light speed. The Zaroth shields, designed to disperse energy, did nothing against solid matter moving at relativistic speeds. The slugs punched through like the shields weren't even there. Missiles followed, not energy weapons but old-fashioned explosives and shaped charges. Fighter craft swarmed in, dropping ordnance that detonated against hulls rather than shields. The Zaroth formation broke. 12 hours later, the Zaroth Dominion had retreated. Their invincible fleet had been shattered by weapons technology they'd assumed was primitive. By tactics that didn't rely on the energy warfare that had defined galactic combat for millennia. In the council chamber, delegates who dismissed Earth now stood in respectful silence as Admiral Hale gave her report. The threat has been neutralized, she concluded. We'll maintain patrol groups in affected sectors until the Council can rebuild its defensive capabilities. Earth stands ready to assist with training and technology transfer. Veldar approached, all four eyes showing the Kryn expression of profound gratitude. We called Earth a fairy tale. We were fools. No, Marcus Sullivan interjected quietly. You were hopeful. You built a galaxy where wars like ours became myths. That's admirable. He glanced at Admiral Hale. We just made sure that if the fairy tale ever had to end, we'd be ready to write a different ending. Commander Ninola's crystalline form pulsed with curiosity. Why maintain such a fleet if you'd achieved peace? Why prepare for wars you hoped would never come? Admiral Hale's expression was somber. Because humanity learned something in our long, bloody history. Peace isn't the absence of the capacity for war, it's the choice not to use it. We kept our warships for the same reason you keep fire extinguishers. You pray you never need them, but when you do, you're damn glad they're there. She looked around the chamber at the assembled species, peaceful races who'd nearly been conquered because they'd forgotten that predators still existed in the galaxy. We'll help you rebuild. We'll share what we know. But understand this, Earth didn't stop being warriors. We just became warriors who chose peace. There's a difference. As the human delegation departed, Veldar turned to Ninola. I don't think we'll call Earth a fairy tale anymore. No, Ninola agreed, her form flickering with awe. But perhaps we should remember that the best fairy tales always have dragons. And sometimes, you need dragons on your side. Epilogue. In the years that followed, the Galactic Council learned what humanity had always known: peace is not weakness, but preparation for war isn't madness either. Earth's fleet remained active, now patrolling alongside refitted galactic vessels that incorporated human weapons theory. The Zarkoth never attacked again. And across 1,000 worlds, children of 100 species learned a new story, not of Earth as a fairy tale, but of Earth as a reminder: the most dangerous species isn't the one that forgot how to fight. It's the one that remembers, but chooses not to. Until it has to.